got some new shit now, bro. I don't know if you've seen this one yet.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. That wasn't it. Bear with me. All right, here we go.
Oh, the song again? Okay.
Big Lou. Yeah. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. Sports mix. Yeah. You in the mix. Rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the sports mix with Kenny. News and knowledge. A lot of dope techniques make kids become scholars. You need to tune in. A lot of hot topics. When it comes to sports, Kenny sound like a prophet. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. Plus he keep you up on all the hottest trends. Plus you never know who he has as a guest. So grab a cold one, man, and just tune in. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. You in the mix. Sports mix. You in the mix. Rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty. You in the mix, man. You in the mix. You in the mix. Sports mix. You in the mix. You rockin' with Kenny. When it comes to news, man, he got plenty.
Sports mix, baby. Got my theme music rolling. Shout out to my man Big Lou. Thanks for the jingle, my brother. Got my man Cheese in the building. What's up, homeboy?
What's up, man?
How you feeling?
Hanging in there.
How you feeling on this fine Monday evening? The
Monday,
first Monday after daylight saving started.
Right.
You feeling that hour yet?
Hmm?
You feeling that hour yet?
Shit, man, I felt it before. The clock went back.
Yeah, I feel you. I ain't paid it no attention, but we in here. Little brief sports mix. Trying to catch up a little bit. The NCAA Tournament brackets came out, so we want to chop it up about that before the tournament start. And of course, we'll do some updates as the tournament goes on. But just wanted to get in here tonight, kind of look at the brackets a little bit, talk a little bit about it. Shout out to the other guys not in here tonight: Neil, Dean, CB, Coach C. Shout out to the fellas. You know, we definitely got to chop it up. Basketball season is in full flight right now. Want to congratulate Coach C on his new position as the head basketball coach at Rosedale Christian Academy. You know, so he's taking on they really starting a new program over there pretty much. And Coach C is at the head of that. So we wish him all the luck moving forward. You know, I think he's in the gym right now grinding.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez. So you got to go to the press conference.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when they made the announcement. So, you know, how was that, you know, just being there and you know, Charles is, you know, y'all was like, that's your man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how did that feel checking your man out, getting an honor like that, man?
It was great. I know he wanted it for, you know, a long time, working towards that goal to have his own program, you know, that he can run. So, you know, I kind of witnessed the hard work and the effort he put into, you know, through all the years at AAU and then JV coaching at St. Francis, assistant coaching the varsity, to even doing all photography and you know, so he paid his dues to get there. So
yeah,
I would not be surprised if he has one of the top programs in the state in the next couple years. So
yeah,
because he's
yeah,
aligned himself with a lot of good connections. Shout out to my man Michael Hawthorne at Under Armour, great dude. So he's one of his guys, along with Timmy St. Clair, who's I
Coach
forgot
Tim.
title as far as the athletic program, but he's will be a big part of the program, and I know he'll be an assistant to Coach C. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do, man.
Yeah, I think Coach Tim was announced as the JV head coach.
Okay,
if I'm not mistaken. I was watching your feed, and I think Coach Tim was the announced as the JV coach, man. So that's big stuff, man. You know, Coach Tim is a guy I met through Coach C. You know, when he had the AAU program. So, you know, I met a lot of his guys, and those guys went from his program and went on to coach, you know, high schools around the county and the city. You know what I'm saying? So they've been definitely, like you said, they definitely put their work in. They've been grinding, you know, putting that work in, man. So this is a big step. You know, they get to start something from the ground up, which is always, you know, a beautiful thing because it's your handprint. You know, you got your handprints all over it, and you know, you get to see it from, you know, the infancy, and you get to birth that thing, man. Like you say, it's you know, I see the grind. I see how hard Charles worked. I see how, you know, how he pushed and is always doing something surrounding that. So I'm like you. I think he'll be successful with it. You know, and he got a great support system with his wife. You know, and his biggest cheerleader is his daughter. You know, and when you got that kind of support and you got a strong team around you, you know, success should be not far away. So congrats again to Coach C. You know, stay away from our players though. You know what I'm saying? Stay away from our players, but I definitely will support in any way that I can. Just wanted to get a couple of things out before we jump into this, you know, NCAA tournament. So over the weekend, really the last 2 weeks was the Maryland State High School basketball tournament. You know, State of Maryland has 4 classifications: 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. Baltimore was very well represented. You know, the Baltimore area was very well represented for the men's and women's side. Very well represented. So I just wanted to take this opportunity just to shout out the Baltimore teams that advanced and won state championships. In the 1A boys, you had Lake Clifton with Coach Tree. In the 1A girls, Pikesville High School. The 2A girls, Falston, I believe Falston beat Hereford. Falston is up in Harford County, and Hereford is up northern Baltimore County, close to the Pennsylvania line. In the 3A girls, Poly was the state champion. And in the 4A girls, Western is the state champion. And the Western team only had 7 players. They fielded, you know, they were out on the floor with 7 girls. And I believe one of their better players was in foul trouble at halftime. She had 4 fouls at halftime. Finished the game with 40 points. You know what I'm saying, man? And I think they won the game, definitely by more than 10. But it was a great game. I actually watched that game. You know, so shout out to, you know, those teams that won state championships representing, you know, the Baltimore area. Just show you that there's a lot of great basketball here in the area. You know, if you want to get out and watch. Shout out to my guy, Floyd, my brother, Floyd Matthews. What's up, my brother? Salute right back at you, man. So another thing, good friend of mine from college, Barry Evans, his son, Barry Evans Jr., is at Putnam Prep up in I don't want to get it wrong, but it's up in the northern part of the United States, up like the Maine, Massachusetts area.
Okay.
They won the prep national championship over the weekend. I believe they finished 38-0. And they play a national schedule. They play in all the top prep schools and, teams of that ilk. And young Barry Jr. is going to, I'm blanking on the school. He got a full scholarship to a school in the Atlantic 10, and it'll come to me. I should have wrote it down. But shout out to Barry Evans and his son on the job well done, man. So, that's the high school stuff. Just wanted to get that out, show them some love on the sports mix.
It's in Northeast Connecticut.
Okay, all right, Northeast Connecticut. I know it's up north, and up in the north somewhere. 'Cause a lot of those prep schools up that way, and they have like the prep leagues and stuff. So I know they're pretty competitive. St. Bonaventure is where he's going to school at. Yep, he's going to St. Bonaventure. So congrats to young Barry and Putnam Prep, man. 38-0, playing that kind of a schedule is nothing to sneeze at. Nothing at all. So before we get into this NCAA again, so what was your thoughts, man, on the Deshaun Watson? With no charges being brought. So he basically lost a year of playing time. I don't know if he was not paid or not paid. I think he was being paid, just he wasn't able to play. But just what's your thoughts on that whole situation?
That was the whole. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That was a whole fiasco. When initially came out last year, you think, okay, they got some real stuff on him, and you get all these allegations together, and amounted to umpteen allegations against this guy, and from there he didn't play,
right,
and then go through the whole year, and then all of a sudden, is it three-pronged kind of thing where, okay, they don't have enough evidence to file charges anymore? Did they even have enough evidence to file in the beginning?
Right.
Or was it something else that was hidden? Then, but to go through a whole year, and I'm a firm believer, if you knew something was not sufficient now, you probably knew 6 months ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know. I mean, you look at teams who need a good young quarterback, but who's going to take the chance and to go for him?
Yeah.
So that's another, rolling the dice with that.
Yeah. I just felt I felt from the beginning. I'm not one man. I don't like the public trials. I don't like all the information coming out because we don't know whether the information that's coming out is factual or not. But the information comes out, in my opinion, to prejudice the jury pool and the people that may convict. So you throw out as much information as you can, and then you get in court. So once you already been convicted in the court of public opinion, you know what I'm saying? It kind of makes it a little easier, especially with a public figure like that. The case was pretty well talked about because of who he was. And so the information gets put out there and people just start to take opinions on him. Whether it's true or not, the opinions are being formed. And it's something that I know that's near and dear to you, because I've heard you speak on the Innocence Project. Not that this is related, but it just makes me think about, people that, and you see these cases almost every week where somebody's exonerated and they spent 30, 40 years of their life in prison, man, for something that they had nothing to do with. And how do you repay them for that? Like, I don't think it's a dollar amount that can repay you for losing that much of your life You know, I just don't. You know, I don't. And I'm sure that's a topic you'll tackle on your podcast. And definitely if I'm not a part of the panel, I'll be tuned in to hear that, because it's kind of irritating to me.
But you know what, Kenny?
That's beat down like that.
Yeah, but you know what? And you look at a young guy like that, but people have to realize we're only 50 or 60 years away from him possibly being lynched.
Yeah.
Dragged in a truck or car, like Mr. Bird in Texas some 25, 30 years ago.
Yep.
I mean, he's not far. That could have happened.
Yep.
In the court of public opinion. You know, if it wasn't for the kind of filters we have today, who knows who could have took him out in the back alley or whatever and killed the dude over these accusations.
Yep. Yep.
So when you talk about the Innocence Project and a lot of the work they do, you know, with Peter Neufeld and Barry Shack, that's very important.
Yeah.
You know, because they constantly getting brothers and sisters who have been incarcerated for 15, 20, 30 years over serious charges that they just didn't do.
Yeah.
So I don't want people to take this Deshaun Watson case lightly, because something seriously could have happened. I mean, you know, we're not far from removed from that.
Yeah. Exactly.
Or,
exactly. Yeah. And that's a point I've always made too. You know, when we get into these back and forths, you know, especially when there's a racial overtone.
Yeah.
I make note of, you know, my grandparents, my parents, you know, lived in those times.
Yeah, sure.
So, you know, we talking about, like you said, we're not talking about hundreds of years ago. We talking about, you know, people that we could reach out and touch that could give you firsthand accounts of some of this stuff, you know. So, you know, everybody want to turn the corner and kind of forget certain aspects of things, but, you know, it's always a reminder. It's always a reminder. Shout out to Rodney Pierce. You know, Rodney said the Texans would rather destroy his reputation first and his career second. There's some shade going on, and I don't think the Texans are absolved of their part in it, because I heard it was some kind of dispute going on before all of this stuff took place, because I think he was trying to force a trade because of you know, just the way they were handling business. You know, they traded his number one receiver away from him, you know, seemingly for no reason.
Yeah.
I've never heard a reason why they traded what's my man's name?
DeAndre Hopkins.
Hopkins. Yeah, I never heard a legit reason why they traded him. You know, other than, you know, they'll throw salary out or whatever the case. But, you know, I just think it was some BS. And he was trying to get out of there, and they wanted to screw him some kind of way. I wouldn't doubt that at all. Gina Clay, Harry Respass, what's going on? How y'all feeling? So last thing before we move on to the NCAA is so prime time Deion Sanders. You know, we've talked about him on the show before and the job that he's doing at Jackson State. But it just came out, you know, last week, I believe Thursday or Friday, that he actually had a couple toes amputated. And, you know, I remember when they were reporting that he was having foot surgery, because, you know, he suffered with turf toe. You know, I think that kind of ended his career with the Cowboys, and then he came back with the Ravens a few years later for that one season. But he, you know, turf toe was really what slowed him down. And he said that he's always had issues with his feet, you know. So he had the surgery, to do whatever the surgery was supposed to do, and then there was the complications from the surgery. So what happened, and I was watching this documentary, and they talked about it in detail, is that when he did his research, he found out that his family, on his mother's side of the family, has a history of blood clots. I think he said he had an uncle that passed away, maybe his mother's brother passed away from blood clots. His mother had suffered from blood clots. I think there was another uncle, a couple other relatives that had it and, had dealt with it. And so, now he had the blood clot issue, and it was, he was 50-50. He wasn't really sure if he was going to live. He wasn't sure if he was going to lose his leg, his foot. And so they got to the point where they had to take the big toe and the toe next to it on his, I believe, his left foot. And, I want to, first say, send prayers, blessings, man, because, he talked about, he really could have lost his life going through that surgery. But the second thing that I want to acknowledge, and is one of the things that I like about kind of where we are now in sports, where we can be, is he controlled that narrative. We didn't hear about that until he put it out there. We didn't hear about the blood clots or even the amputation until last week. And this surgery stuff happened in October, November.
Well, I don't know if you follow him on Instagram.
Yeah, I follow.
Yeah, during October, you might have to go back. He actually had a video back then. And his sons looked at his foot. And at that time that he had him amputated because it was infected. He never really came out and said it, but you kind of could read between the lines that that's what happened. Because you knew at least one. Now, what I didn't know is that it was two.
Yeah.
So it was that one. But I knew back then it was one. But I won't say this about Deion Sanders. I'm glad you brought him up, man. I was a huge Deion Sanders fan. Coach Charles, if he ever listened, he'll tell you. And I remember one time he had it out with Tim McCarver in the locker room where he threw some water on Tim McCarver. And I didn't like that. And back then, I told Charles, this is 30-something years ago. I said, and I'm a young guy, that 20 years old. I said, I don't think Deion Sanders will really realize how important he is to us. Now he does. Over these last 15, 20 years, he has realized how important he is to Black culture. He was important back then, but he was young too. He was just a couple years older than us.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that he realizes that he's important, and we talked about it before. I told him he was going to change Jackson State. I told everybody. Because what you said, one thing about him, he can control his narrative better than any coach in the country.
Yeah.
Because he's not going to fall for the nonsense. He don't care what you think.
Right.
Because if you say something out the way, he's not going to be politically correct. He's going to tell you how he feels. So, yeah, I appreciate you shouting him out, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of him, and I just like what he's doing. With giving back, because he's in a position where he really don't have to. You know what I'm saying? He the type, he can just write a check and go about his business. But he's hands on. You know what I'm saying? He's hands on. He got his getting his hands dirty. He's out there. He's working with these young kids, and his sons are involved, but it's more than that. He's reaching more than just his sons. You know what I'm saying? So I'm a big fan, man. I like the whole Sanders movement. I like what he stands for. I just like how he's a stand-up guy. He's a stand-up guy. Now, I was watching I watched a video the other day, and I'm assuming somebody recorded him doing an IG live because it was on YouTube. And so he was just reading through the comments and answering questions, rapid fire. He'd read a comment, answer it, and then right to the next one. And one of the questions was, have you ever talked to Tim McCarver after, the incident? And he said, nope, no need to talk to him. You know what I'm saying? We moved on from that. And it is what it is, and I don't even really remember what the incident was about, and I don't think it wouldn't make much sense now to rehash it and try to bring it back, but it is, that you brought that up, and I just heard him a couple of days ago, kind of blow it off like, nope, ain't no need to talk to him. We moved on from it.
He thought back then because he was a two-sport star. Is my mic still staticky?
Just a little bit, but I can hear you.
Yeah, he was saying he thought Deion was selfish.
Mm-hmm.
It's with the Braves and the Falcons, and Deion didn't like that. And when he saw him, he thought about getting a bucket of water and pouring it on him. So,
and there goes that. Shea, what's up? She is in the building as usual. So yeah, man.
Trying to fix this mic, man. So
no, you good. You good. So we are March Madness is upon us. March Madness is upon us. We are about to start the most, what they call it, the most exciting tournament. What do they call that thing? I know they got so many names for it. But the NCAA Tournament, is about to start. I think the play-in games start either tomorrow or Wednesday. The first four is what they call them. They start in a couple days, and then Thursday and Friday are usually, the best days, because you got games all day, all evening, into the night. 16 games each day. I think they're running on 3 or 4 networks. So it's, you should never be without something to watch. If you got those networks. And I'm not gonna shout them out. They ain't paying me no money to do that, but look them up, you'll find them. But the tournaments are starting. It's March Madness, man. You've already seen some heartbreak. Some of the smaller schools, the mid-major conferences, with some of the bigger teams in those conferences not making it. So some of those conferences that rely on the automatic bid from winning the conference tournament, and you've already seen some of those teams not make it. Right here in Baltimore, Towson State or Towson University was the number 1 seed in their tournament. They've been on a heck of a run the last month and a half or so, and they were looking to close the season out with a tournament victory in the NCAA tournament berth. I believe it would have been the first one since 1992. And they fell short in the semifinal of the conference tournament. And one of my young men, I used to coach, Terry Nolan Jr., is a member of that team. And he was looking forward to getting into the NCAA tournament for the first time, and they fell short. But they did get invited to the NIT, and they're going to be playing Wake Forest. And I believe that game is either Tuesday or Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. So he, shout out to my guy, Terry, finishing up his college career, and he'll be in the NIT tournament this week. So hopefully they get a W against Wake and they get to move on. So I'm pulling for Towson this week. So I guess we'll take a look at these, look at this bracket. So you say you haven't had a chance to look at it yet?
All
right, so I'm
Well, you find that I had an interesting story about it. It was a young man who had finished his college career and he was playing over in Ukraine,
Mm-hmm.
and they had him on CBS Sunday morning show. But anyway, he was talking about how it was such an ordeal getting back to the States and how a lot of his friends and their families are stuck there. And he tries to get in touch with his teammates every day to see how they're doing. Can't communicate with them. He knows some of them were going to be fighting in this war.
Right.
And he was really scared and shaken up about losing his teammates in this crazy situation between Russia and Ukraine. So it's unique how a lot of the people who go overseas and make money, like you were talking about Brittany Griner, and how they're making 4 or 5 times what they may make, or in her case in WNBA, but in his case, he wasn't an NBA player, but he's making a good living.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they're getting $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, that's a great living for them. But he had to actually get out of his contract, and doing that, he asked his agent to negotiate out of the contract to allow him to have some of the money that was due to him.
Right.
A very interesting story, and it's just one of the dynamics that is taking place with a lot of cats that are playing overseas, and that is kind of stopped now because as you know, the Ukrainians have some great athletes, and a lot of that situation is kind of put on hold at this point. And this young brother, he's from DC, so
I think I've heard some people talking about him.
Yeah, but it's
I've heard
sad, man. Sad situation, because he said how the Ukrainian people treated him when he was there, how they were so friendly to him and whatever. And it's just unfortunate that these circumstances have come about where he really had to escape.
Yeah. Yeah. And this I saw a video earlier today with one of the Klitschko brothers.
Yeah.
I didn't catch which one it was, but they were kind of out in the street shooting a video of something that the city of Kiev, is it Kiev?
Kiev.
So I don't know what the building was. I don't know what they were showing us, but something that had gotten hit by a missile.
Yeah.
He was saying that in the last day or so, and that he just wanted people to know that this was real. You know what I'm saying? This is really what's going on, and that they out here fighting. They trying to fight for their country. So, it's just unfortunate, to see, because I just can't imagine, living somewhere and somebody's coming into your space trying to take over. Basically, we got this now. Like it's just hard for me to see.
And that's yeah. And I've met Vitaly before. I haven't met Vladimir, was the younger brother, but I've met Vitaly before, maybe about 7, 8 years ago at one of the fights.
Yeah.
And he was, a really nice guy. And the amount of balls you gotta have to sit there and say, look, these people are coming to take, and we're gonna sit here and we're gonna fight. And I mean, you gotta give them credit. I don't like how they treated some of the not African American, but some of the African and Indian students. As far as trying to get out. And what a lot of them were saying, and I guess they're trying to put a spin on it so they'll, have sympathy around the world, but how that, these were isolated incidents. But as far as Vitaly is concerned, like I said, I met him, really nice guy, just like I've met Alexander Usyk and, Lomachenko on the Ukrainian side as well. Just like I met Sergey Kovalev
Yeah.
on the Russian side.
Mhm.
And it's really ridiculous, man, because you see these guys and they'll be talking to each other like they're brothers,
Yeah. Yeah.
But this
Yeah.
war, I mean, you literally got cousins fighting cousins, So
Mhm.
it's a shame though.
Yeah. Yep. So, hopefully that situation
Yeah.
can resolve and work itself out. But that's maybe wishful thinking, but
Yeah.
you just hopeful that before it gets too far gone, they can have some resolution to it.
Rodney said they're fighting for national pride. He's totally correct.
Absolutely.
Totally correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So look at
I
this
didn't mean to
bracket
get
a little
too much
bit.
off topic,
Yeah. I mean, but it's in the news. It's Klitschko is a sports figure.
Yeah,
So,
good dude, man.
And he's doing something that a lot of athletes would not. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So, shout out and much respect for him for doing what he's doing on that. So I got the top part of this bracket up. Just look at who's in the first four, which is actually the first 8. Because it's 4 games.
Yeah.
So they are. You got Rutgers, Notre Dame, and then you got Wright State and Bryant. I don't have much of a say on these games. I don't know much about Wright State or Bryant. But if you look at, you can't even look at the records. Really, the records are kind of similar. 22-9, 21-13. Can you see the bracket pretty good?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yes, I don't have much of a much thought on those 2 games. Rutgers, I've seen Rutgers. I've seen Notre Dame. I think Rutgers will give them a good game. I think that'll be a good game for sure because I've seen both of those teams this year. So I'm gonna not even gonna make a prediction. I'm just predicting a good game in that one. And Wright State, Brian, it's a push because I don't know much about either of them. So
yeah,
I'm gonna pass on a prediction there. So then on the other side, the 2 games, man, this thing got a mind of its own. All right, let me see. So we got Texas Southern, and then Texas A&M Corpus Christi.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got Wyoming, who I've heard is a pretty tough team.
Yeah.
And then Indiana.
You think Finis Dembo is gonna play? Remember old Finis Dembo?
I remember Finis. He had a big tournament, I think in like 87.
Something like that.
86, 87. He had a big tournament. He put up some
Finis
numbers.
Yeah.
I think he was on Detroit. I think Detroit Pistons drafted him. So he was on those teams when they played against the Lakers, 88 and 89.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Old Finis Dembo. But I think that'll be a good game.
Right.
That Wyoming, Indiana, I think that'll be a good game. Again, Texas Southern, I have not seen. And Texas A&M Corpus Christi, I have not seen. I'll give them the lean because the kid I used to coach went there, played there. Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Shout out to my guy, Terrence Jones.
Mm-hmm.
One of Lake Clifton's finest. Yeah, so let's start here in the West. We'll start in the West. So let me try to slide it up just a little bit so we can get the whole joint there. So we'll look here. All right, so top half, you got Gonzaga, Georgia State. So is Gonzaga the overall number 1?
Yes.
So they're the overall number 1 for the tournament. So you got Gonzaga against Georgia State. I think Gonzaga easy in that one. Easy. Second game there will be Boise State and Memphis. So I've seen Memphis a couple of times, Penny Hardaway.
Mm-hmm.
Boise State, I have not. And that's an 8-9 matchup. So I'm assuming that they're expecting that to be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they both should be close in talent. I know Penny's got a young team. Penny's team is a younger team. Boise State, I'm assuming, probably a little more veteran. But so those are the first two games. Those out in Portland. What's your thoughts over there in Portland?
You know, I think the most important thing or the most exciting thing about the especially beginning of the tournament is these games where you might have 3 versus 14, 4 versus 13, and the anticipation. And you know, a lot of these teams and players, this is their one time to shine on a national stage. And that's the greatest part, I think, of the tournament, because we all have those your Final Four memories, win, lose, or whatever. But to see some of these teams advance from, you know, the old 64 to 32, even the 16. You think about all the teams that went on different 2 or 3 game runs, and just from them 2 or 3 game runs, they made tournament history. That name is locked in, you know, forever. So you think of like Bryce Drew, or you know, Steph Curry, or who else? I mean, it's just you know, quite a few people that, you know, made their name from the tournament.
Yeah.
So that's the great part, man.
Yep. So moving on down to the Buffalo games. You got the 5-12 games are always good games. And that 12 is always dangerous.
Yeah.
So, you know, 12 can always get a 5 for some reason.
Yeah.
So UConn, the 5 going against New Mexico State. And then on the bottom half of that, you got number 4, Arkansas, and number 13, Vermont. So I've seen Arkansas. You know, they're pretty tough, gritty team. I have not seen Vermont. But I'm expecting that to be a good game. Vermont got 28 wins. So they got to have some quality wins in there at some point.
Anytime you got these mid-majors going from like the 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th seed, they're good teams. And the problem is, say, you know, I'm looking at say at Duke. You know, if they run into a Davidson in the second round, you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Because Davis is a good team, and they're number 10 and seed in the West bracket, but it wouldn't be shocked me if they beat Duke, you know.
Right.
So that's another great part about the tournament. I mean, you know,
yeah,
get a team that's hot, and you know.
Yeah, but that's what it's all about too. You know, whoever's playing the best basketball at this time, you know, really that's with all sports. You know, if you get that momentum going at the right time, it could carry you all the way to a chip. You know, and like you say, I know Davidson took a tough loss in their conference tournament the other day, Sunday. They took a tough loss in that, but you know, they got enough skin in the game to get a 10 seed, you know. So again, like you said, and they can be tough. They'll be a tough out for Michigan State in that game. And that's in the Greenville, there in North Carolina. So then you got Duke and Cal State Fullerton. I'm expecting Duke to come out of that. Up above that, you got Texas Tech, Montana State, and then you got Alabama, and they play the winner of Rutgers Notre Dame. And that's that is the West region. So that's the first round. So we're not gonna do no predictions for the whole thing.
No, I'm just,
Yeah, just kind of looking through it. See, Gonzaga gonna be tough. Let me see. Who else? I always got to watch Michigan State because they got Tom Izzo. He prepares them guys well.
Guy. Yeah.
He gonna have prepared. I don't know talent wise if they have enough to pull out, to get through it, but they got great coaching. Arkansas is tough.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen UConn a couple times. They're tough.
Mm-hmm.
So you got some good teams in this region. I don't know that Gonzaga just going to walk through it, but they are the overall number one team. But they're gonna have their work cut out for them.
They have a player. There. They have a player by the name of Chet Holmgren.
Yes, sir.
Chet Holmgren is 7 foot, freshman. And this could likely be his one and done year. Who knows? He's gonna have to get stronger. But I've seen videos of Chet Holmgren, working out with NBA players.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a fantastic all-around game. He reminds me of Kevin Durant.
KD, yeah.
But I think if Gonzaga is going to have to, if they're going to make it, they got a full, they go 8, 9 deep, 10 deep, but he's going to have to be the one who's going to be to make a difference and say, look, if I'm the so-called possible number one pick,
mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to show it now.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I think, and I watched them probably, 8 or 9 games this year. And he's so talented, but yet sometimes he'll take a back seat because he's so unselfish.
Yeah.
But I think at a certain point, he's going to have to be selfish in parts of the game and, use that height and good ball handling skills to make stuff happen.
Yeah. Rodney said they will not win.
Hey, I picked them last year. They didn't win. So,
yeah. Well, so we're gonna see. It's this, and Gonzaga is a team that's been making noise for a few years now. They always right there. Just haven't been able to get over that hump yet.
Talk about a guy who created a powerhouse, man.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable what he's done out in Seattle.
Spokane, right?
Huh?
And then in Spokane, Washington.
I'm sorry, yeah, Spokane, Washington.
Yeah.
And it's Mark Few, not quietly, because you think 15 years ago it was quietly, but over the last 15, 20 years, he's been so consistent, and he is, now become one of the premier coaches in the country. Mm-hmm. And he's getting recruits. He's getting top recruits, like you said. Chet Holmgren's from Minnesota last year. His top recruit was from Minnesota, who went and left for the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
The guard, his name escapes me, but he's getting some big time ball players, man.
Yeah, yeah, and I don't know. If it happened at Gonzaga. Mm-hmm. I believe it's possible to happen anywhere. Everything gotta be, everything gotta work. You gotta have the right administration behind you. You got everything gotta be in line because of the because of what it takes to get to that level.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta have a budget to be able to recruit on a national level. But I'm sure when he got there, they weren't recruiting that way.
Right.
They were recruiting the best players that probably within a couple 100-mile radius.
Yeah.
And they just built it up that way. But let me see, Rodney said, but they'll choke it away. And they've been close. you know, they've been close. They've been close a couple times. Just haven't been able to get over that hump. But I by no means am I a Gonzaga fan. Let me just say that. You know, we all know who I'm a fan of, and we hurting right now.
Yeah.
You know, we are no tournament. It's a lot of chaos in the program right now.
Yeah.
Should the
I heard
coach be
they made the
fired?
KNIT tournament where they home knitting.
Yeah. That's pretty much what's going on. And
You got I see you got up here on the east and UCLA and Baylor, which I think will be a heck of a Sweet 16 matchup. It looks like if they won.
They'll meet up.
Yeah, but I tell you this, UCLA and Nick Cronin, he has he's one of the top coaches in the country. But they got kid Johnny Juzang, I believe, and a great young player. He was at Kentucky and then transferred out to UCLA. He's from a California kid, but it'd be interesting that Baylor, if it comes to fruition, now St. Mary's, who's in the conference with Gonzaga,
yeah.
good team, man. Good team, and they're fifth seeds. Yeah. So what you're telling me is if you're a fifth seed and you out in a WAC, that means telling me you're a top 15 team, 15 to 18 team. And it would not surprise me if they met UCLA and beat them, but that could be a potential Sweet 16 matchup.
Yeah.
If I'm looking at it correctly.
Yep.
So
Yep. So up there you got Baylor, Norfolk State.
No, actually a 32 matchup. Isn't that correct?
No. The 32 would be the winner of North Carolina and Marquette.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
But the 16 matchup, if they to get past, I think that's tough. So you got Baylor, North Carolina, who I think, they're North Carolina. So, they're solid, but they're not a great Carolina team. But
no.
Out of that portion of the bracket, UCLA and Baylor and St. Mary's are the teams I'd be watching.
Now I'm picking, my sentimental pick is Marquette. To beat North Carolina and I don't know if they got enough to beat Baylor.
Yeah.
But they got two local kids.
Yeah. I see down the bottom in Indianapolis with Kentucky and Calipari, however you want to pronounce it, but he seems to have bounced back with the 2 seed, and it'll be interesting to see once he get past. And I'm gonna tell people, Murray State. I watched them a couple of times this year. Murray State is pretty good, man. Murray State is pretty good, and I'm interested to see how they play San Francisco. But if they get past that, when they go against the potential, Purdue or Kentucky or somebody like that, how they're going to do. So we'll see. Your mic still on? Can't hear you. Did you leave?
No, I'm here.
All right, I can hear you now.
You got me?
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I check this mic. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I don't know, how this thing be in and out. But I did get an opportunity to see San Francisco this year. So I watched them once. I've seen them twice, but they were in a tournament out in Vegas around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So Towson was out there. I watched when they beat Towson in the championship of that tournament. But that Murray State team, so I haven't seen them. They 30-2. So they can be a tough out. They can be a tough out for somebody. Purdue is going to be tough.
Yeah.
You know, Big Ten team. They got a big guy that's doing some damage on the inside. Texas, I have not seen. Virginia Tech just won the ACC tournament. You know, so again, they could take that momentum, roll it on into the NCAA tournament, make a nice run.
Yeah.
At VTech. Yep. So these games, you know, these first round games, you know, got some good games here. Some quality teams. I haven't seen them all, but I'm expecting them to be some good games. And you know, the tournament, you know how it is. This is March Madness, man. You just never know what can happen in March.
My microphone's still staticky.
No, I can hear you. You good. So we slide over here to the take a look at this Midwest bracket. So we got Kansas up here. Bill Self, you know, he always get his team's tournament ready, but they always seem to fall short too. I don't know if you noticed that about Kansas. They always got a lot of high expectations, and they always fall short. I think he got one championship in Kansas. But to me, the Kansas teams always come up short. So I'm not expecting him to make a deep run. And with me not expecting it, this probably be the year that they make a deep run. But I'm not expecting much out of Kansas. They probably get out of the first two rounds. They should get out of the first weekend into the Sweet 16. Creighton, San Diego State. Creighton out of the Big East. It's crazy saying that shit, but Creighton out of the Big East. They tough. I think they got a local kid as well.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name, but I believe they got a Baltimore kid as well. Iowa, Richmond. Richmond just won their conference tournament over the weekend. I believe it was an upset. They were not picked to win that. Providence, who I've seen a couple times out of the Big East. Tough, very tough team. South Dakota State. And they're 30-4. So, yeah, I mean, you got a team with 30 wins this time of year.
Yeah.
They're not going to be an easy out. I don't care what conference they're from. You got 30 wins in March. You've been playing some good basketball.
I think my dark horse in Midwest is USC, but I have Auburn as my favorite. I think they're a fantastic team that can get up and down, and they can get 100 points on you quick. I just think they're pretty talented. I think if they get past, I don't know, Sweet 16, I got them going straight to the Final Four because I think they'll beat Kansas.
Yeah.
And I think Kansas, if they do get that far, they're gonna have a problem with Providence.
Yep.
I think Providence is a good squad.
Yep.
But if they can get past Providence, I think it'll be Kansas and Auburn vying for that Final Four spot coming out of the Midwest region. I just think Auburn is, pretty talented, man. And so that would be my, favorite and dark horse. Like I said, USC is they're gonna play well. So I'm gonna see how that goes.
Without looking at my bracket that I submitted, I'm pretty sure I picked Auburn to get to the Final Four.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did that because I've seen them a couple times this year.
Yeah, they get up and down, man.
I like how they get up and down. They defend it.
Yeah.
Real scrappy.
Yeah.
Hard-working team. So I think if I was looking at my bracket, I'm sure I know I got them going deep. But I believe I picked them to go Final Four.
And they're a reflection of the coach. And Bruce Pearl, He wins.
Yeah.
He wins wherever he goes.
Yeah, wherever he go, he's a winner.
I mean, he might have a scandal or two.
Yeah, he controversial.
Shirt off like a stripper sometimes, but he's a fun-loving dude. He's a passionate guy.
Mhm.
Every fan base he goes to, they love him.
Yeah.
And I just think he's he has that kind of infectious kind of attitude that brings that enthusiasm to the program. So I wouldn't be surprised if Auburn makes that Final Four run.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So I got then we got the South bracket. Arizona's number 1 there with Sean Miller still the coach there, correct?
Yeah.
Sean Scandal Miller. I don't know how he got out of that shit.
You know the one thing Sean Miller was famous for? You remember?
Being on Johnny Carson.
Huh?
Being on Johnny Carson show.
Well, he was on Kids of People too in the 70s. But he's famous for the assist to Jerome Lane. Back.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching that game. I remember watching that shit live when it happened.
Yeah.
Send it in, Jerome. Send it in, Jerome.
You know, Bill Raftery still sounds the same, man.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, Billy Raftery. So I'm looking forward to hearing him call a game with you during the tournament.
Yeah.
Man to man.
Yeah.
You know. Yep. So Arizona, I'm expecting them to get out of the weekend.
They're pretty talented. Now I'm gonna tell you something about this bracket, and I gotta say it. And I've always been few teams I've always liked over the last 30, 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan, Syracuse, St. John's, they're, amongst a few others. I don't know who Michigan paid off to get in this tournament. I love Michigan, maize and blue. There's no way in the world they should be in this tournament with 14 losses, 17 and 14. They're NIT worthy.
Mm-hmm.
No way in the world.
Mm-hmm.
No way in the world. And then they're 11th seed. That's only because they're in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
But there's no way in the world that they should be in this tournament at all.
Right. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right. They may have greased a few palms to get in. And I don't know. I know they had some big wins in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like you said, 17 and 14. I don't believe that's tournament worthy.
No.
I mean, you at least want 20 win teams. And
I
20
didn't
win
hear the
teams are on the
rationale
bubble.
behind them getting in. I'm quite sure they got some kind of reasoning behind it, but other than a grueling Big Ten schedule, and being a Big Ten team, I'm quite sure it was a mid-major who deserved a better shot, shot rather than Michigan.
Yeah, Tulsa.
If you're gonna do that, put Maryland in there.
Oh no, Maryland was terrible this year.
They suck. Well, now I don't want to say they suck. They just they were just a good team.
Yeah. So, you got let me see, Seton Hall, who I've seen. Seton Hall's okay. I've seen them a couple times. TCU, I have not. Houston was a finalist last year.
A very talented team.
Yeah, finalist last year against UAB.
But Houston just lost, though.
They won the tournament. They won their conference tournament.
They came back?
Yeah, they came back and beat Memphis.
Because they were down, weren't they? They were down.
I just saw that they won.
They were down by like 16 points, I think.
Yeah, they won it. They won the tournament.
I thought they lost that. Okay.
Yeah, they won it. Yeah. Then you got Illinois. Illinois has a local flavor. Coach Chester Frazier, who I had the privilege, of being around them a little.
I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Ken.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know. This microphone tripping. So Chester, like I say, Coach Jimmy Thomas coached Chester in middle school,
Okay.
and he had that good relationship. So Chester played some tournaments with me and Jimmy while he was in high school. So I always pull for him. He played at Illinois, as a matter of fact, when he was his college ball player. He played at Illinois. And he's been a coach there. I think this is his second time coaching there. He was also on the staff with I want to say Bill Self at Kansas.
Yeah.
And then he went to Virginia Tech. He was at Virginia Tech last year, I believe. And he just went back to Illinois this season.
Yeah.
Hopefully, in the next few years or so, Chester will be a head candidate for a head coaching job.
Yeah.
In college. So that'd be good to see, that young man that he's making that rise in college, man, college athletics. So I'm pulling for Illinois. I don't know how far they'll make it, but I'm just because of the local flavor, I'm pulling for Illinois. Colorado State, Michigan. Like you said, Michigan probably shouldn't even be in the tournament.
Yeah.
Tennessee, Longwood. I haven't seen Tennessee this year. I haven't seen Longwood. Tennessee is out of the SEC. You got Ohio State, who I've seen a couple times. They're kind of up and down team. I think they'll probably lose that first game to that Loyola Chicago team. They always play tough in the tournament.
Yeah.
I watched them play in their conference tournament. Was it Sunday? Either Saturday or Sunday. I watched like half of that game. They look pretty good. And they're the team with the old lady, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, sister. I don't know.
Sister Jean.
Yeah, Sister Jean. So, they got the Catholics. They got the prayers behind them. So they got Sister Jean rolling with them. And she's over 100 years old, right?
Yeah, 102, I believe.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a good story either way. You got that part of it is just a good story. Then you got at the bottom there the number 2 seed Villanova playing against Delaware, and they're neighbors. Delaware and Philly. I mean Delaware, and Philly right there next to each other.
Now, I know you about to get out of here, but I've always been a Jay Wright guy.
Oh yeah.
He just seems to reload and keep it moving.
Yep.
And I expect big things from them.
Yeah.
Getting past that, if he has to face Loyola Chicago, I think that'd be a great game. But I think Jay Wright and his ability to recruit is one of the great things that's going on in the country the last 10, 15 years. I recently purchased the Audible, and I sent it to Coach C about Jay Wright and his fundamentals and his approach to the game. It's fascinating to listen to how he goes about his focus, his preparation, and things like that before games and going into seasons. And I think he's one of the most talented coaches in the country.
Yeah.
His relatability, if you will, to kids, especially in the inner city.
Right.
Yeah. He's an old school vibe that a lot of the old school coaches who identify with kids from the inner city, Bobby Crimmins.
Yeah.
People like that. Jerry Tarkanian. There's a few guys like that who really related to the inner city ball player.
Yeah.
My man that was at Marquette, he passed away some years ago. I forgot his name. I ought to be shot.
Al McGuire,
man.
Yeah.
Very relatable to the inner city ball player. And they enjoy playing for coaches like that.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's just a little peek at the first round games. I got Villanova making a run. I'm a Jay Wright guy too.
Yeah.
His teams always look prepared.
Mhm.
They may hit a patch in the season where they kind of roughing it out, but they always seem to fix it this time of year.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for Villanova to make a run this March for the next couple of weeks. I'm looking for Villanova to make a run at it. So
Well, it'll be fun this week to get everything started. So we'll see.
yeah, for sure. So everybody watching the games. If you're in my Facebook group, if you're in the Sports Mix Facebook group, I got a bracket challenge. You click on the link and join. Probably should have shared it on this podcast, but go to the Facebook group, the Sports Mix 2021 on Facebook. Anybody can join. No membership fees. You join up, get in the bracket challenge, or just send me an inbox. Yeah. send me an inbox, and I'll send you the bracket if you just want to join. We can do it that way. Also, as I always, check out the Sports Mix YouTube page where all the content is located. You can go back and look at old episodes of the podcast. Check out some of our hot debates. We joke and we laugh and joke. We had fun with it. Go back and check out some of the old episodes, man. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the page. Trying to get those numbers up as well. So if y'all notice, I got my got my Nike on, and I got my towel wrapped over my shoulder, man. It's March, man. I just wanted to give a little shout out to my guy, Big John Thompson. Georgetown used to be the beast of the East. We are cellar dwellers now. I think this is the first time in history that they went 0 and whatever in the Big East. Didn't get one win in the Big East this year. It is a lot going on with the program right now. I'm gonna have to do a segment on Georgetown coming up at some point. Just with all the stuff that's been going on. I am connected to some of the former players via social media, and I've reached out to a couple of them just to get a feel if they would want to come on and talk a little bit. Haven't got the feedback yet, but I'm gonna keep trying to get that done. I'm a lifelong, well, I can't say lifelong, but I've been a Georgetown fan pretty much since '82. And it's tough for me, as well as there's a lot of other people that are Georgetown fans, to see them going through the stuff that they're going through now. Because it was automatic that Georgetown was going to be in the tournament at one point, and they were going to make some noise in it. So it's just tough for me as a fan, that they're not in the tournament. Got a couple articles that's come out. I'm gonna share them with you, because it's on a site that I joined. I'm gonna share those with you, man. Because it's one of the former players that's kind of airing out stuff from the Big John era.
Oh, wow.
For Big John, so it's unnamed. He doesn't say who he is. And a couple of people try to give some guesses as to who it was. But it could be anybody really from that era. But the bigger picture is not even that he's airing them out. But these guys just want the program to be back where they were. And it's hard for guys to put that sweat equity in to see the program in the state that it is now. So everybody got their way of trying to remedy a situation. Some people are yellers and screamers. Some people go quietly about it. Some people boat rockers. So this guy, whichever player this is, he going about it his way. He's written a couple of articles, like it's like on a blog site. So he's done a couple of articles, and they've been pretty hard hitting. You know, he don't hold no punches. He kind of going at the big man himself. You know, going at Big John and the administration there. So it's pretty interesting right now at Georgetown, man. And as a fan, it's frustrating. But you know, Big John just had a big impact on me. So I just gave him a shout out tonight with the towel, you know, for March. And I'll probably do it again. You know, and Big John was a Nike guy as well. So, you know, got you know what I'm saying? And so pretty soon, man, if y'all watch, man, I'm putting together a baseball round table. And I know, Cheese, you're a baseball guy like me, so I'm sure you want to take part in that. So, you know, I'm just telling you now, you'll be a part of that. You know, so baseball resolved their issues. Spring training started today, I believe. I saw some highlights of some guys out on the field today. So, you know, the season get ready to start. I see some signings being made. Some of the free agents are you know, landing with some teams right now. A couple trades been happening since the collective bargaining and stuff got worked out last week. So baseball will be starting in April. I believe opening day is April the 11th. Either April 7th or April 7th or the 11th one. Yeah, what's up? But we'll definitely be doing some baseball stuff coming up. You know, a little baseball round table. We'll be talking some current baseball, some past baseball. You know, we both were on the mighty Ebonites. You know, you're looking at, you know, two of those guys right here on your screen. You know, we played baseball together for pretty much from the beginning. You know, your career may have started a year or two before mine, little league wise, but you know, we were right there together. And so we got some baseball knowledge, some baseball stories, and I'm sure at some point we'll get out to a game, like, you know, like we usually do. Watch the O's. Darren Jones, what's up, homeboy? Good seeing you Saturday too, man. Shout out to Darren Jones. Give Darren a plug too if you're looking to buy a home. I'll let Darren Jones. And if you need his contact info, hit me up. I can get you right to Darren. Darren selling real estate in the area, Baltimore area. Any closing words, my brother?
Nah, man. Just look forward to the next show.
Yep. So, you know, tournament time coming this week. Tournament be in full swing by Thursday. Thursday is usually the big day. Thursday and Friday, the two biggest days for the tournament. You know, for sure, you know, we'll be back, you know, doing some, you know, kind of going round by round, seeing the upsets, because we know the upsets are coming. You know, they don't call it March Madness for nothing. So we know some of these teams that it might even be some of the ones we're thinking about might make a run, might be going home this weekend. So, you know, we'll be talking about that coming up, man. We're just gonna have some fun with the tournament. Shout out to the guys from the round table, CB, Dale who's tuned in, Dean, Coach C. Shout out to the fellas. And you know, everybody again, check out the Sports Mix Facebook page. Get on that bracket challenge. Let's have some fun with that. We're about to be out of here, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Shout out again to my man Big Lou for the theme song. Appreciate you, brother. You know, and we steady pushing forward and moving the show along. So I thank y'all for all the support so far, all the feedback. We're just gonna keep grinding.
All right.
So we out.
Peace.
Peace.